Hello and welcome, it's Emilia here. Today I will show you how one simple technique can help you create various fabric flowers. This is the one video of the series about making fabric flowers. The last one was about stiffening the fabric, so if you haven't watched it, go back to my channel and watch this one first. Before die cutting, I would usually give my fabric a quick iron and then it's ready to use. Today I will be using Lady Design Flower 9 and Flower 12, those both sets, and I use all the dies in the sets apart the biggest one. To die cut I would use a piece of scrap paper, this is just a copy paper, underneath my fabric layer and then place the dies on top. This paper helps you die cut it easily, and it also gives a crisp cut because fabric is not super easy to cut, so it helps a lot, and I always use a scrap of paper underneath the fabric. It is very easy to remove the flowers and the fabric from the machine, and you can help yourself with a poke tool if sometimes the fabric is stuck with the paper, but usually it comes off easily. To add an interesting detail to my flowers, I will be stamping the centers with the stamps. I've got veins and the dots. This you don't have to do it at all. I like to do it since it looks really gorgeous, and I like to choose the inks in similar colors to my fabric. Obviously you can skip that step, is not necessary. If you have any stamps that you would think would look good, then I encourage you to try. Very often I also like to add a bit of color in the center using darker ink, and it's better to do all that before shaping the flowers. Now it's time to shape the flowers, woohoo, finally! And I will be using mini iron with curved smooth end. This is my favorite tool. Most of the flowers I create with this one using the same very simple technique which I'm going to show you today. All those flowers on the table are created using that technique, so I hope I will inspire you to try. It is super simple, and even everyone can do it, even a very beginners as well. So place your layer, your flowers on the foam. Underneath the flower I have a foam. It's wrapped with the cotton, because my foam is not heat proof, so of course it would get burned. The tool is very hot, and by shaping the flowers I mean going from the top of the petal towards the center on left hand side on the top of the layer, and then I place the layer upside down and I go again on the left hand side, but kind of on the bottom part of the layer. And this is it. This is all I do for all layers, for all different flowers. It will work perfectly. I will show you some examples, and only when I'm making a rose flower I will shape the smallest layer differently. Apart of that, everything just repeat the same technique over and over. As you can see, I like to do many flowers at once. I never do one or two. When I have all the layers shaped, then I combine them and see how many flowers I can create. So now I will be assembling the flowers. To glue the layers together, I use UHU glue. I still don't know how to pronounce it. I will show it to you in a minute, and I just pour it into a smaller bottle with a very fine tip. Only a tiny bit of a glue is required to stick the layers together. For the centers, I'm going to use Stamens and also buttons. When I'm using the buttons, I usually cut off the sticking part of it on the bottom. My buttons are plastic, I think. Something like that. Yeah, you can use any pearls, small art beads maybe, yeah, brads, anything that would look nice in the center of the flower. When assembling the flowers, I usually try not to overlap the petals. As you can see with the technique I showed you today, you will be able to create various flowers. You can have 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 or 5 layers, depend how many you want. I like to keep it simple, 1, 2 or 3 layers, and for the rows maybe 5. And this will be it. Once my glue is dry, I will cut off all the stamens and then I can enjoy my flowers. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. I hope I will inspire you to try flower making. It's just a gorgeous, rewarding craft, and I love it, and I would like you to love it as well. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel and visiting me, for leaving all fantastic comments. Have a lovely creative day. Bye bye everyone!